So this first idea has been brewing because of a need. Like, for example, I've been working as a freelancer for 5 years. And one of the things that I'm thinking about is that, first of all, nobody reads the contracts. And it would be worse if you're in a contract that is not in your native language. And some of my friends who are also like freelancers from other countries and they have international clients. So I was like, why don't we have like pre-translated contract bundles so companies can buy and they say, hey, a big company hire people staff from South America or Asia. So even though the main communication could be in English, but at least the contract could be in the native language of the person you're hiring so they can understand what they're signing for or what can be negotiable. So that's something that I was like thinking about. Of course, it would be like using AI and review by some lawyers to make sure that the jar makes sense. So that's something that I was like thinking about, especially that for us as creatives, like, so at least like start like selling like in the most popular languages, like Spanish, Mandarin, French, to for people or companies or freelancers who are working like at a global scale.
I think I'm instantly seeing a huge opportunity here for a lawyer that already specializes in this type of law, obviously, for them. If they just want something that is just the perfect tool to get a funnel of new clients, I would do this. Like, offer this out for very cheap or free and collect people's emails to gather this information. They might actually prefer to give it away for free because that might then like limit their liability if the contract goes bad. But I think this is like the perfect chance for a funnel. Offer this as a digital asset that anybody can download for free. All they have to do is provide their email. This lawyer that would then have all of those emails, which are going to be from companies that are hiring freelancers and also freelancers who are getting hired by companies. Both of these people, like naturally over time, one of them is going to run into a legally complex situation where they need help. Either like a freelancer's like not going to get paid, or some company's going to have some contract not get delivered. There's going to be something that will go wrong at some point. And I think the real value is just being in mind for that and just having that like general flow of communication.
License like translation companies who have law firms, or even can work for immigration like businesses, especially countries like here in Canada or United States that has a lot like immigration agencies.
Yeah, those are like the exact people that would be benefiting from this. Even if you're not a lawyer or something, I still think this is a chance to just build this into a template. There are so many template selling funnels on the internet that we all scroll past every day. Like, download this Notion template on how to organize your second brain. And get my grocery list Google sheet for $15. Buy now, play that game, do it.
I think the independent law practice template direction makes a lot of sense. You'd be surprised on how little templates that an independent lawyer might have in their database. A lot of them kind of do generate their service revenue to write net new contracts. Sometimes they literally don't even have any templates. What's actually very interesting to me is the AI portion, having like an AI dialogue, because actually going into the process of understanding a contract of buying a home, for example, when you spend that $1,500 on a lawyer to literally just read the entire contract or real estate transfer contract.
And not only that, the translation, because you have to pay for a licensed translation
Yes.
company to translate it for you or vice versa. So this is like templates already like translated with the most popular languages, and especially if it's a lawyer who has a multiple cultural background or is fluent in certain languages.
Yes. And then I think like even at the time, as someone that's just like being briefed on what the contract means, that was $1,500 for that entire service. And I'm just like, oh, that's all I'm getting. I'm getting like a PDF marked up document along with like a follow-up phone call by the lawyer. If I just like had an AI dialogue with and then uploaded this contract, I would have understood this entire contract. I already read like majority of the words. It's just like the legalese that I don't understand.
Or in my case, they can explain to my Spanish in my own dialect so I can understand. So especially with with whole like in my case, having legal documentation in English, even though I'm fluent and know how to speak with the legal jargon, I still struggle to comprehend.
Especially even when you're in a corporate enterprise or department level, you might think that, well, why don't you just go to your own corporate lawyer and chat with them about like whatever project that requires this legal document to be figured out. But in actuality, if you're like exploring international markets or going into a region where like they have like a second native language, and then you need to execute some kind of contract, your own corporate lawyer might only answer your emails or your calls for like 2-3 business days, even when like they work in the same company. If you just had an AI, you probably would have gotten the answer that you should have gotten in 20 minutes. And then this way, you're getting such a efficiency in your workflow that you just truncated that 2 to 3 business days into just like 20 minutes to then forward it over to the corporate lawyer to see, hey, I just generated this rough draft. This is like roughly a brief of what I'm trying to do here. Can you just look through and edit, revise, versus you write or like write a net new contract?
So are you kind of saying basically like this could also be like a custom GPT essentially? That's crazy.
And it could go
Wow.
many ways because, like, for example, I tested out like any like language like generative AI. Even like if they do it in other languages, that would be also so beneficial because, like, for example, let's say someone who is based in Europe but they don't know fluent English. So they can say, "Hey, I have this big client, big contract, and the office in the US." So they can prompt it in their native language into English, and they can send out the whole like contract. That also can work too. Because like sometimes generative AI, like English works very well, but compared to other languages, still like some fallacies.
I'm hitting the buy button on the imaginary buy button on that idea.
I also have a reference here that I just remembered. There's this Instagram page of these, I think, yeah, they're based in Australian and they're kind of like a creative studio. Essentially, it's like a couple that are doing creative work. And a large portion of their demographic or like their content and how they get their views is literally just creating these freelancer templates. And then every time they do like a template freelancer post of anything about like just boring legal jargon or structuring the proposal or a client agreement or creating the scope of work document. They create these templates and then I swear to God, every single one of these posts go viral every time. Just on the boring business stuff, it's consistently over 10K views. All these templates are getting 20K views.
Yeah, and they're probably they're probably around like similar price point that you'd probably want to use for this thing as well.
Yeah. Let's see what's the price point of these templates. Over $100 per template.
Really?
That's actually insane. Yeah.
You say 10.
I'm seeing all these templates being consistently over $100 and I can get $20 off if I sign up to their email funnel. But yeah, this is how lucrative templates could be. And to anyone that's thinking, oh yeah, translated templates, it's going to be such a small little throwaway opportunity. No, this is actually going to be huge. If you just design templates and then created common business templates into different languages in different use cases.
Yeah.
And design them nicely like these people have so that people look at it and it's just like, okay, this is a clear value transfer here. Like, I couldn't do this. Like, I couldn't design it that well. And obviously the translation and all of the legal side of it is its own thing. Like, yeah, you can really charge any price you want at that point within reason.
Actually, with people who has like big money who are currently buying property like in Mexico or in Europe or like that is also like especially with real estate, like especially with properties like vacation rentals.
There's a different regional nuance on the legal jurisdiction on like where they are. You can really customize these templates into the local language and the local region. I would argue that you can literally take what they're doing, just do the same thing. My guess is those templates is really just like based on the Australian legal jurisdictions. You can just like take that and then do a French one or a Spanish one. There's a lot of Brazilian creatives too. So like just make it in Portuguese or something like that. And Just watch.
That's it.
Yeah, that's a really good digital product. Honestly, we don't get enough digital product ideas on the podcast. So thank you.